It's Diecast Masters time again, and this time it's model 85528. That number doesn't tell us much, but inside the box it's a Caterpillar 745 articulated truck. The real truck can carry a payload of 45 US tons, and I bet it doesn't get delivered in packaging like this. As usual for Diecast Masters, it's very high quality, and it's got a really nice metal tin. Printed on the tin is some information about the real machine, and the lid comes off just like a biscuit tin. Let's see what we've got, and there's a small Diecast Masters brochure telling us about other models available in the range. And there's a one-page instruction sheet telling us how to control the operator. And here is the operator, and obviously he only intends ever to sit down. Next out is some foam rubber, but wait a minute, there's something else still to pull out. And that's a replica load for the truck. Let's get stuck in and continue to stick our fingers in the material at the top. And when we've got a hold of it, we can pull it out. There's the Cat 745 sitting nicely in the bottom, and I bet it can't wait to come out. So there's a couple of operations we'll class as assembly, and the first is to take the roof off the cab. And that's not a new form of air conditioning, it's so that you can put the operator in. And so that's a real plus point on this model, you can display it either with the operator in the cab or without. So you get the best of both worlds. Once he's in and sitting nice and comfortably, you can clip the roof back on. So that was stage one of the assembly, but we can do a little bit more. And that's because we can install the dummy load into the load bed. And that just drops in nice and easily. Looking underneath, there's some nice modelling, and the big tyres have got an excellent tread pattern. They are mounted on plastic wheels which have got nice details. And moving on, at the front the grills are formed of graphics. The lights look good and the handrails are nice and thin. Looking at the pivot point, the armoured hydraulic connections look particularly good. And looking at the back, there's some decent detailing of the rear axle and lights. The dump body has got sharp graphics, and the replica load provides display options. Taking a look at some of the materials used, the handrails are metal, and the mirror supports are plastic so that they're not too fragile. The hydraulic connections are nice and flexible, and the black flap is metal. This model has got a nice weight to it, so it rolls very nice and smoothly. And some of the model engineering is also very nice because the rear axles are linked together and they oscillate. There's also some decent rotation at the pivot point, and it's quite stiff. So if you want, you can pose doing some exhibition moves. In the other dimension, there's also steering across the pivot point, and the angle that can be achieved is quite reasonable. The steering has also got a nice stiffness and is not too loose. Let's now test our ability to take a dump, and again the rams are nice and smooth, and the angle that can be achieved is very good. Let's look at two more features which are interesting and perhaps unexpected, and the first is the opening engine hood, which reveals a detailed engine, although the hood can't tilt forward quite as much as you'd like. The other feature is that the cab also tilts to allow access underneath. There is some basic detailing which can be seen, and the only reason the cab can't tilt more seems to be because of the metal handrails that are on the side. But still, it's an interesting and worthwhile feature. Time for a genuine imitation real-life test. And we've got a load on board, and we're going to see how we can tip it. The dump bed gets raised up by precise hand control, and then the load tips. Fantastic realism. This model represents another step forward by Diecast Masters. It has the very high quality packaging that we've seen before, and the addition of the working features and the removable operator make this a very flexible model that can be displayed in a number of ways. So overall, it's good enough to rate as excellent.